Hi everybody, welcome to the loft, and welcome to all those who are watching on playback. How's everyone doing today? Oh, I've got a bit of a light behind my head. Let's move out of the way. So this is my far from finished loft at the moment. Thought I'd do a live stream from here this week, give you a little tour around what I'm planning to do, get some of your guys' input if you've got any ideas. I do have my first train running in the loft. Two simple ovals down there. Oh, trying to focus. I got class 37 running around with the breakdown train. And the inner loop isn't working properly. So we've got the little 040 engine stopped there. You can see various mess in the loft, tools and everything that I've been working. Well, let me just catch up with the chat. See who we've got in. Andy, Hot Dog Pilot, how you doing? Hi, Anthony. So we got in Jerry, Peter Jackson. Peter, your video on the shunting pole, I was sharing that around the railway today to explain to people what it is, because we've got one we're putting up on display. Tom Houston, how you doing? Got anyone else in yet? Timber Surf, hey, Timber Surf, how you doing? So I hope everyone can hear me okay, and it's all right because I'm running a cable up from the router downstairs. I haven't wired it in properly yet. Hi, Bernie. Hi, Motorola Shed Dino. How you doing? Hello to Flymo. I know he's out there watching. He's not feeling very well tonight. He contacted me to say he'll be there in the background. So get well soon, Flymo. And there's Anthony with the pun. It wouldn't be any other way. So we'll let a few more people join in, and then I'll set my phone up, and we'll do a little tour of the loft, and I'll explain what we're doing and what's happening up here. So let me just set up the phone as a second camera. Yeah, so this is I was hoping to get up here earlier on and do some testing and everything, but I was at a meeting at the railway that went over time, and then I had to run around and get kids, and then it was parent-teacher evening, so Donegal daughters, parents, teacher meeting this evening. So I had to go to that, and then it was get through the door. I had Bernie texting me going, "Are you doing a live tonight?" I'm like, "I'm trying to set it up, Bernie." Hi, Valley 56. Valley 56, are you Chris? Is that right? I'm as people know, I am terrible with names. Hi, Kieran. How you doing? And for some reason, my phone won't load. As the plan is to have a separate connection up here and a router and everything, but it's just this is taking a lot longer to do than I thought. You know, between working and then only trying to get an hour in the evening, so I can't be hammering around up here in the evening with kids in bed. So it's just taking its time. You know what? I'm going to take off the Wi-Fi and just go over to 4G if I've got it, and see if it loads that way. Brendan Junction, how you doing? Anyone else who's popped in who haven't said hello? Anybody in the background there who's not in the chat? hello, welcome. Don't forget the old like button for me, and oh, I got volume. All right, we're probably going to get a bit of feedback now, guys. Sorry about that. I forgot to bring up my headphones to put in the socket to block the sound. So bear with me a second, guys. Totally unprepared this evening, running around. Oh, I've got something I can put in. Hi, Leslie. How you doing? Right. So add that other camera to the stream. And what I'll do is I'll make this solo layout. I'll give you all a little bit of a tour about. So basically what we have in the loft here is we have these collar beams here going across between every rafter. So what I've done is I've replaced those collar beams higher up. They've been bolted in place with screws and M10 bolts. So now I can start cutting these out. I've also put in uprights along there, and they've been bolted and screwed in place. You can see some of the flooring is down. Again, with the flooring, I've put noggins between the rafters every couple of feet to strengthen it again. And I can go down as far as here. There's a loft hatch, nice loft ladder. There will be safety rails put around this. You can see I've still got this flooring to do, but I can't do any of the flooring until these water tanks are moved. Hopefully they'll be moved not this weekend, the weekend after. They're going to be put right down the end of the loft. So it should give me a bit of space. And then if you can see that chimney breast there in the shadows, all the way along to the gable wall there, that length there is just under 29 feet. And then the other side of the chimney, there's about another 14 feet. So we should have just under 40 feet when all's said and done. And from there over to there is just over 13 feet. So there will be baseboard running all the way around here, all the way around the loft. Hi, Charlie. Yeah, it is a good space. Say it's going to be sort of that distance there over to the other side is 13 foot. We've got a chimney breast here, which I'll be going around, and another chimney breast down there. So at all in all, it should be about 13 foot by 38 foot, I think. We won't know until we move the tank, because we're going to see the moment the tank is lengthways, the plumber's going to see if he can put it across the way. So that'll give me an extra 3 or 4 feet. So there'll be, as I say, a layout going around at that sort of height, the first level. Then the second level will be up probably to about this height, going all the way around. And that'll give me plenty of storage underneath for, like Christmas decorations and all that sort of stuff that you store in your loft. And then I'll have a nice area that I can walk around. The collar beams are at just over 6 foot high, so I've got plenty of space. I've got some LED lighting that's going to run down the center to illuminate the place. once I have all the insulation boards on everywhere, I'm going to paint the whole thing white so it gives plenty of light and makes it bright and airy. So that's the plan for up here. So sort of the layout of the layout with this section here where I got 29, the lower level, this is going to be the storage yard. And then I'll have, going from here, I'll have 2 ramps going up either direction, taking 2 tracks up and down to the upper level. And then the upper level is going to have, I think once I have the space and once I can see what I got and I can mess around, and I have some track plans made out and everything, but you know, until you see the space, it's a bit difficult to tell. So what I'll do is I'll swap back now to the other camera, because I'm not sure the picture quality is at best. There we go. I'll put this down. Am I putting a Velux in? No, I was thinking about that, but decided against it because we're going to get solar panels, and that's the south facing, which is the back side of the house there. So the solar panels will be going on there. And I don't think a Velux is ready. Like Jerry, you know what the weather's like in Donegal, as you say. We'll be lucky if we get 2 whole days of summer. McCarville Studios, how you doing? And anybody else who sneaked in? I see Carl sneak in there as well. How you doing? So that's the general plan. So as I said before, I might actually, that's just a single bulb there. I might just switch that one off so it's not shining behind my head. Yes, sir, Hughes. I know what I'd put in if it was my loft. Andy, Moreland Model Railway, how you doing? Got a tank as well as a railway. Yeah, so the plan is for the scenic area, there'll be a nice long run here, 29, and then that side is more or less because it can go behind this chimney breast here. Layout will run behind this. So you could have a good 35-foot run down that side. So I think, as I said, the Martian yard over here underneath, might put the station on top. Then going into scenic area, hillsides, want to have a TMD, steam shed. I want to have just 2 lines visible running on like an embankment and maybe across an a viaduct. So, but I'd say once I have the space complete and I can see it and I can walk around here and I can have a look and see what I want to do. And it is cold up here tonight. Obviously, there's no heating on or anything up here, and it's about 6 or 7 degrees outside at the moment. But I just thought, I was hoping that I'd have these collar beams down, but I needed to get a new blade for my circular saw, and it's an unusual size. None of the shops had it, so I'm going to have to go to screw fixing and a skilling and pick one up. So I can cut these collar beams out now down as far as the tank, because I've done all the bracing and everything down that far, and then I can take all that out. That'll give me more space then up here, because so far I've been walking around here like this for the past 2 months. So they'll clear these out now. They'll give me, this will be my work area for cutting everything up and fitting it in place. So anybody got any questions? Stick them in the chat. If any suggestions, stick them in the chat. I have had engineers and carpenters come around and check this and give me advice and tell me what to do. I haven't just gone ahead and done it. because obviously this is the roof and the ceiling to the second floor. So I don't want this collapsing in on my head. So I've had it all checked out. They've all said, yeah, it'll be all secure. You're putting more wood in than you're taking out. So everything's braced. The ceiling itself has good support structure from the walls underneath, because there's a lot of block walls that come straight up. It's not just partition walls sitting under this. So it's good flooring. Being an older house built in the 70s, these main beams that it's built on, they're sort of 4-inch beams. Most modern houses, they would probably have 6 to 9-inch beams now. So it's not ideal. They're actually quite close together. So there's quite a bit of strength in them. And as well as that, with the noggins in between to support them, these uprights bolted into the rafters, supporting the whole lot. So it's all quite solid. As Bertie said there, he's doing a live stream tonight, but it's only for subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, get over there and subscribe now. Am I going to use Flexi or Set Track? Majority of the time I use Flex Track. What I do when I'm laying Flexi Track is I've got some load of third radius curves, which is usually the smallest curve I try and use if I can get away with it. And I use that as a guide for laying my Flex Track. So I know the curve is smooth just by using a couple of pieces of Flex Track. But it's a cheaper way to do it with Flex Track. And once you get the knack of laying it and cutting it, it's great. Because I've got all the Flex Track for my old layout, which will be used in here. So I just have to say hello to Rebecca. I'm sure she's watching downstairs. The last 2 weeks I've been given out to because she's been watching and I haven't said hello to her. Rebecca's my other half, so got to keep in her good books. And also any of my kids are down there watching. And Adam, if you're watching, if you're not already in bed. Hi, Robert. How you doing? It's starting to get there, Robert. Slowly but surely. Yeah, it's all going to be 00 gauge. I may do some 009 for a narrow gauge. Have a bit of Donegal Railway running on it. Excuse me. Yeah, Peter, as I just said, they're going to have 00, 009 and 00 gauge. So that's the sort of plan for this. Now, I'm hoping that the majority of this work will be done by the end of February, and I can start putting baseboards down then. I know Rebecca's got other plans, so she's other work for me lined up to do. So it's going to take a while. It'll be mostly DCC, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan to have 4 circuits going around. One of the circuits will be wired with its own bus, so I can isolate that and run it as DC, because I got a lot of old DC locos that just can't be, they're just not worth converting to DCC. They would just blow chips if you started doing that. So I'll have one line that I can isolate. I'll put a couple of isolated sections on it with points, and then I'll run that as DC. No TT, no. I don't think I would want to go down the TT route, seeing everything I own is 00 gauge. Yeah, the dreaded honey-do list. Of course, we've only moved in here since beginning of November, so there is still a lot to be done. The main reason I'm allowed to do this is because we need the storage, because we've got 2 rooms downstairs full of stuff that needs to go into the attic. I know that sounds like a lot of stuff. They're not very big rooms, but it's our Christmas decorations, our camping gear, things from the kids that you want to keep, that sort of thing. So there'll be plenty of space now under the layout to store all that and box it all up. And plus the fact that we'll be sorting a lot of it out as we put out. There may be some that will be thrown out. I know the 2 rooms downstairs are also full of furniture that doesn't fit in the house, because the house has got a lot of fitted wardrobes and stuff. So there's a lot of chest of drawers and things we don't need. So they'll be going. Tell her to get a man to the job. The problem is that costs money. I can't afford that. Of course, I got Irish locos. I've got a class 121 and an A class, and I quite like the look of the railcar sets they're bringing out. Although I don't know if I can afford them. You can do it. Yeah, I can imagine that Joyce has you wrapped around her little finger, Anthony. I've seen it on the live streams when she just has to give you that look and you stop. You suddenly look like that little naughty schoolboy. Yeah, so that's the plan for my loft. Say 2 weeks time now, hopefully we have a bank holiday weekend here coming up in Ireland for St. Bridget, our second patron saint, and the plumbers plan to come in that weekend and do the work. As I say, once that's moved, I've got all the floor and I can just then carry it on, because I've started it here, so it's just a matter of just running it down all the way. Eagle Creek Railroad, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're keeping well. So that's the plan for my loft. The lighting has arrived. It's at the at my northern address, so I have to get that collected and put that in. So I've got someone spying at me up through the loft hatch. She's moaning at me because I got the house on display. Yeah, plenty of sockets. One thing I have done is I've started wiring in sockets. I'm putting them on the chimney breast. So I've got 2 up here. I got another 2 down there, and I'll be putting another few in as I build the layout. Yeah, when you're up here working, it does keep you warm. I'm usually start off here with a scarf and a coat and a woolly hat, and after about 20 minutes, the scarf and coat's gone. I keep the woolly hat on because it helps when you're crawling around. You don't bang your head as hard. I'll put I'll give you a view of the trains going around. So this is a model railway live stream. So for insulation, on these walls back here, I'm going to be putting on the Quintherm with the plasterboard on it. That's going to go along there and up on the rafters. In the sort of new space I've created above the collar beams, that's going to be the normal fiberglass. It's going to go in there. And then here, I'm going to put another layer of fiberglass in there just to double that up. So that should help when we do get some sunshine, keep the heat out a bit. We got Gary Campbell here on Facebook. He's asking if I have any Deltics of class 92s from a Cura scale, any running problems. Begin to read about those who have. I haven't come across, I don't have any myself. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody have. I know some people have had some issues, but they've been sorted out pretty quickly. I know Bernie, who's here in the YouTube chat, he has a lot of Deltics. I don't think he had a problem with one, but it was sorted out. Yeah, it is. It's not a bad. Andy saying his two are okay. Jerry can't cope with elevation changes. All right. Yeah, the layout height, then it's going to be. You can see those uprights there. The first level is going to be sort of at the top of those where that meets the rafters coming down. So that's going to be about 3 foot high. It's just then it gives me a lot of storage space underneath. Not just for railway stuff, but for family stuff. And then about 10 inches above that will be the main scenic part of the layout. Moreland Andy says his 92 is perfect. The pantograph did flick off the spring, but it was easily put back on. Let's give this little tank a little nudge. I think that track's dirty, but of course my track rubber is in a box somewhere. Oh, you're talking about the 52, Jerry. Okay. But that 37 I got down there is quite happily trundling around, the little simple oval. Yeah, it'll make for some more interesting live streams, and I'm up here actually working on it instead of promising you guys, oh, I've got a layout coming, honest. It's just taking its time. But this is the very first train running in the loft. So if you have like 40 foot down, 40 foot back, you're going to have a complete circuit. It's going to be probably about 100 foot all the way around. So scale size for 00, well, that's just over a mile, isn't it? Is it? 76, that'd be 7,600 feet, which is, what was there, 6,000 feet in a mile, something like that. Yeah, it is a lot of track. But I have a lot of track. I've about 5 boxes worth of track to put down to get me started, so that'll give me a good start. Like the first bit to be built will be the storage yard underneath, because that'll have a complete loop on it to go around, and I'll do that, and then I'll run that for a couple of months so I'm happy with it and there's no problems with the track or the points or anything, and that while that's running, that'll give me ideas. I can be looking at what I'm going to do on the upper levels. Yeah, already done that, because what I'm doing is I'm not putting the insulation between the rafters. It's going across the rafters, as I'm not cutting it to fit in between each one. So you still have that 4-inch gap for it to breathe. The one thing I also noticed in here is whoever put the insulation in this house before, they've put it right up into the eaves. So there's very little air circulation getting down. So I'm going to pull that back a little bit, because there is vents in the eaves to let the air in and out to let it breathe. So I'll pull that back, so because the rafters are going to be all covered, any humidity that condenses on the back will be able to dry off and run down and get out through the eaves. Because that's what a lot of people don't do, and they don't leave enough space to breathe, and they get condensation and they think, oh, a leak. I think that might have been what happened to Jennifer Kirk's when she had that leak. But I'm making sure because even having the hatch open here while I'm working, there's a lot of moist air or humid air coming up through the hatch, and there's a lot of it condensing on the felt. I'm finding it running down the felts outside, so we need to make sure we keep it breathing. I'm also going to fit an extractor fan in somewhere as well, just so if it is too humid or whatever, I can exhaust the air out of here. But chances are it'll be too cold up here, because having the insulation and everything, it doesn't necessarily mean it will stay warm. It just means when you warm it up, it will stay warmer for longer. Yeah, Ben, insulation is very important. Because one thing we find with this house, it's got triple glazing in it. The doors are all airtight. We don't even have a letterbox. It's a mailbox screwed to the wall outside. And there's a couple of points where there's obviously some thermal bridging in the walls, and there's cold spots, so the air condenses on that. And at first we thought we had a leak because there was that much water running down the wall, but we now discovered that it's because the house is airtight. There's a lot of moisture, it condenses. Now we know what it is. We now manage the problem. So we keep the air circulating. When we're out during the day, all the rooms inside the house are left open, so all the rooms can be aired. Hi, Ewan. How you doing? Yeah, I actually picked up a small dehumidifier from Lidl the other week. They had them on. Still in the box. I haven't taken it out. So that will be handy to have. We're going to get a couple of humidity monitors as well to put around, just to... The problem really came when it was really cold. Not that last cold snap we had, the one we had before Christmas when it was like -10, -11 here. It really was. You could find the real cold spots on the wall where the water was condensing and running down. And of course, this time of year, the air outside is all cold and damp. So even if you open up the window, you're just letting more damp air in. It doesn't really solve the problem. What we really need is a forced air system in the house, but that's mega bucks to install. Might be something that we look into in the future. Hi, Thomas. How you doing? So anybody who's joined the stream recently, this is my new loft space. I just thought I'd let everyone see what I'm doing. I might just put the other camera on again in a few minutes and give people a tour again for those who missed the first one. It's just explaining what I'm doing up here and the sort of size, and get your guys' input as well. You might have come up with something I haven't thought of. Yeah, aircon is expensive. What we've been looking at is it's basically it's a system where put vents in the rooms. It sucks the air out of the vents, and it recovers 95% of the heat out of that air. So it expels the moisture and the air and stale air, and recycles the heat back into the building again. But it is a very expensive system. I'll just set up the phone again. Yeah, it is quite a pretty strong headlight. It's giving off good light there. All right, let's just add the other, add my phone as a camera so I can give you, anyone who's just joined, another little tour. Oh, it's thinking about it. I'm going to switch off the Wi-Fi on the phone. There we go. Right, I'll put that back into solo. So hopefully you can all still hear me. And I'll give you another little tour about. So as I was saying, the loft has these collar beams going all the way down it. They've been moved up to give me a 6-foot headroom, bolted and screwed into place. So now I can start cutting these out. As well as that, we have the uprights there bolted into the rafters, 4-inch screws on each one, screwing it down to the joists. So that's holding all that in place. We got 18mm OSB board, and that's on the rafters with noggins in between to secure it every couple of feet. So there's a row sort of going down here, and a row going down here. So everything's tied together. Yeah, Peter, I will be adding lighting to my buildings and everything. I would say that would probably be in maybe 2 to 3 years' time, the rate I'm going at. You can see over here, you'll notice here that there's a bit of a step here. The reason I've done that is I'll show you over here. I'm going to do the same thing over here because they ran some 2x1 down, and what they've done is the wiring they've tacked either side. Now originally I was going to pull all that out and rewire, and I thought, why am I going to all that hard work? So I've got some extra 2x1s, so I'm going to run down along there, and the flooring sits on that. As well as that, all these running down help tie everything together as well. And I think, well, that step there, it's going to be under the layout, so it's not going to be so much of a hazard, and it saves a lot of work. You see I got a pile of network cables there. There's going to be a switch up on the chimney breast there for all the internet. I'll be wiring as well for webcams. So there's the water tanks. They'll be moved right down to the end. As I said, I don't know whether they're going to be that direction or swiveled 90 degrees to give me a bit more room. But when the plumber's doing it, he's going to see how he can fit them in best. So one is water tank. The other one is a smaller tank for the heating. And you can just see down there in the shadows, there is a chimney breast, and behind that there's about another 12 feet. So this section here is about 29 foot. So should have about a 40, somewhere between 37 and 40 foot, depending on what way we can configure the tanks. So I say once those tanks are moved, it'll be a case of continue the flooring on down, get that all done, and then I can get all the insulation done. So once the tanks are moved and the flooring's down, it should be pretty quick then to put the rest of it all together. I'll just go back. Hi Stuart, how you doing? Oh, I could do that space and then. Yeah, the wood that I'm cutting out, so these collar beams, when I cut these out, they're going to be used further down in the loft. So I've bought wood in to do this, when I cut these out, they'll just be reused further down. So I'm not spending as much on wood. Yeah, I've already cut a few out. That was quite nerve-wracking when I cut them out, because it was like, is it going to come down on my head? Have I done everything right? But so far it hasn't budged. So we'll see. If there's no live stream next week, then you know the roof's collapsed. Yeah, so that's the plan. For some reason, there was a set of crutches left in this house when we moved in. Yeah, Glasgow to Edinburgh. Now, anybody who knows me knows my railway isn't modelled on anything. It's just a purely scenic railway. Ideas out of my head, and I run whatever I want on it. You could see a 125 running down, Class 43, followed by the Flying Scotsman. It's just, and then followed by an Irish Rail A class. Just run whatever I want. For me, the enjoyment is building the layout, getting it working, doing all the electrics, the scenics. So hopefully now, in a couple of months, up here, there'll be more than that little circuit. But all I can guarantee you is between now and then, there's going to be an awful lot of swearing. Don't fall out of the loft. You'll need those crutches. Tiny Tim didn't need them anymore. Oh, Anthony. Yeah, the around the loft hatch there will be safety barriers going around it, and also there'll be something that I can slide across. One, keep the noise out from coming up or noise going downstairs, and also stop heat escape as well. Yeah, so this is what I've been doing in my spare time. So it's gonna, hopefully now I'll be at the stage, I hope, or not far from it, of putting baseboards in by the end of February, and that's when hopefully the weekly videos will return, because it'll be following the progress then of the build. But I just know the laying of the track itself is probably going to take months. As I was thinking that when I was ripping up my old layout in my old house, I was thinking this took me months to lay this track, and I've ripped it up in ripped the whole layout apart in less than 2 days. Oh, I got some dust up my nose. Oh, excuse me. It's part of the reason why I want to have it all sealed in and have a proper room as well, because you get a certain amount of dust coming off the felt, you get dust coming off the fiberglass insulation. The floor will be painted and sealed as well, because you get dust off that. and I'll be painting the walls with a watered down PVA coat to seal them, and then they'll be painted just to reduce the dust. Oh, it'll be worth it in the end. I'm looking forward to it, because as I say, it'll be my man cave, it'll be my space, it'll be my place to come and decompress. Yeah, Thomas, you might be battering me around the head with them. Yeah, well, I knelt down to put that little bit of track together, and I ended up covered in dust. So there's a lot of sawdust up here, obviously from all the wood I've been cutting up and everything. But I've been trying to tidy up as I go. But the final clean will be done once the building work's completed. Where are you hanging the TV? Well, I was actually thinking of putting the TV there. That's why I put the socket there, and I got my network points coming in there. So the TV was going to go there, and I was thinking this section here, I can have my workbench. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, because I'm waiting until all the flooring's down and I've got the whole big space, and then I can sort of walk around and go, right, yeah, I think the TV would be better there, workbench. Yeah, I can just sit and chill out. Oh. I'm just going to come off this a minute because we're back on the other camera because my mobile phone is glitching. That's like since I've moved into this house, there's been so much work going on. I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube. Purely because I've been doing so much. Oh well, we can't. Hi Valerie, how you doing? Valerie's watching us there on Facebook. Well, I can't knock out the chimney breasts here because we actually use them. The chimney breast that's down at the other end is used. That's where our fire with the back boiler is. It heats the whole house. And this one here is in our other front room. So that will get used occasionally. But I'm not worried about the chimneys because they'll be incorporated in some feature. But that's it, Andy. I'm really looking forward to having a nice big layout. As well as that, this is our own house. We own this one. We're not planning to go anywhere for at least 10 years. So I can build this layout. And, all the stuff I learned on the last layout, I can bring what I learned and try not to make the same mistakes again and build a layout here. And, it's, as I say, the enjoyment for me is building the layout, getting it going, getting it working. Of course, it can all get frustrating when you have a particular thing that won't work. Or the worst one is that it works some of the times. And then every so often when your back's turned, it'll break and not work, and you can't figure out why. Valerie, yeah, I'm planning to go to North Down in April. That's the plan anyway. I'll hope to get up there. There's a lot of you guys out there that have great, amazing layouts. One I like watching is Andy, Moorland Railway, Stuart, St. Mary's. He's got a great layout. I'm looking now through the rest, trying not to insult anyone. But you all have great layouts. You all, you do your own thing and everything. smuggle the chimney out one break. I think I would notice because there'd be smoke pouring in here. Yeah, so I'm just waiting to get cracking on it now, get the baseboards built. Well, obviously finish off the rest of the attic, get it all insulated, create the space. Say I've run network cables. I have to run one permanently from downstairs up here from the router, putting the switch up here. Put a couple of more sockets in, put the TV up. I'm going to paint the whole place. As you remember my last layout room, it was all white. And the reason for that was for lighting, for filming and all that. So it's going to be lit up with LED strips all the way down. And then once they're in, it's painted white. I'll be able to see how the lighting is and see if I need any additional strips or whatever. Realistic smoke from running steam trains. Yeah, I think the trains, as they went through the tunnel, they might melt. True. Keep the chimneys out, keep the loft warmer. Yeah. I must actually go over and feel the chimney breast. The fire's been on a couple of hours now and just see if there's any heat coming off it. But that's one of the things I'm going to watch with the chimney breast now, is because obviously they go straight up out the roof. Yes, they are waterproof. There's no water coming through. But are they going to be dragging cold down into the loft? Are they going to be like a heat sink? Like a thermal bridging going on with them? If that's the case, then I'll probably wrap them in insulation just to... But you're getting some more of the... you're waiting on the coaches, are you, Andy? Oh, I look forward to that. Refuse to mention how awesome Stuart's layout is anymore. Yeah, I love Stuart's layout. It's so interesting, so full of different bits and pieces, and it's just every time I watch it, I see something different. Is that all your layout is, Andy? It's somewhere it looks bigger. Andy, I like your, as you say, your train table, or you just run trains, and that's like you run your trains and do your trains how you want to, and that's what everybody should. As someone said, rule one applies. You know, you do what you want to do. You run it how you run it. You know, with like Dino says there, his is only 10 foot by 6 foot, but does it give you pleasure and do you enjoy it, Dino? Does it? That's the important thing. I mean, my first layout was just like this one. It was track on the floor because I had nowhere to have a layout. And I'm in the lucky position now that we're in this house. It's got a big loft space. And I thought, right, okay, this is where I can have a layout. Hi, Richard. How you doing? Like you all in your own right have. Oh, hi, Valerie. You joined us over here on YouTube, have you? Hope you're keeping well. Again, as everyone says, it's rule one. You build what you can, how you want it, and it's up to you. And whatever you do, don't let anybody ever talk you down or talk your layout down. It's what you do, and it's what you want to do, and it's what gives you pleasure. Just I steer clear of those, shall we say, railway snobs. You know, I've had it where I've been at the last where I had my little 4x6 layout, which, you know, was built to show what you can do, how to build a model railway. And I had that running. And of course, I had a Class 47 running around along with the Irish Railway A class. So you had Irish trains and English trains running around. Oh, some people came along and just looked at it, turned their nose up at it and go, hmm. And then other people came over and said, that's a great little layout. It's got everything you want on it. It's got a tunnel. It's got a little town scene. It's got a station, some shunting. He said, it looks great. It's fantastic. And you've just done it on a 6x4 board. And the other people go and just snubbing their noses at it because it's not prototypical. You know, each their own. You know, if they want to spend the time having something exact, that's up to them. That's their railway, and that's how they want to run it. And fair play to them. But don't talk down anyone else's layout. Don't talk down anyone else's hard work. Right, I'm going to be quite nice. I'm starting to rant. See, I've never done an gauge. I've always been 00 because, like everybody, you got a train set when you were a kid, and it was usually Hornby, and it was 00 gauge, and that's what you started with, and that's what I stuck with. Yeah, that'd be a good, Andy, if you do an overview of your layout. I was putting out a bit of a update video tomorrow. It's probably going to be short and sweet. It's just an update on what I plan to do over the coming year, you know, with this layout, which you've already seen tonight, but the stuff at the railway as well, what I've got to do there. I'm probably not going to get half of it done, but you know, it's what I plan to try and get done. And I do have some help now in the railway. Some other people are coming in now to give me a hand with the layout, so I don't have to do it all myself. So that'll be good. Rivet counters, they're us normies. Yeah, I run everything, and I'm the sort of person who go into a model shop and look at something and go, oh, that looks nice. Now, I do like Class 37s and 47s. I do like those, you know, but I'll go in and I'll see steam engine, or I'll see, and I thought, oh, that looks nice. In fact, I managed to grab Mark over at, is it Model Railway Fantasia that he has, where he's moving to Poland, and he's got some Polish stuff on there. And I was looking at it going, oh, some of that stuff looks quite nice. I thought, yeah, I mind getting some Continental stuff and running it on there. So watch this story. It reminds me, it's Friday. Yeah, anybody who does know Anthony Dodge, he does a live stream on Fridays, usually about 9 o'clock UK Irish time. Get over there. It's not going to be a conventional. He does his own thing, and it's always good to hang out, have a chat, and see his massive train table that he has. All his mostly German railways, isn't Anthony? All Markland stuff. Oh yeah. Well, a couple of the Donegal daughters. Oh, there's one poking her head up right now. So,
they're Christmas decoration ones.
yeah. See, this is the sort of thing that eldest daughter is into.
Oh, it's a bad example to show them.
Is
they're not all Christmas ones.
Breyer horses. Breyer horses. She has loads of these. Some of them are more expensive than my trains. Than that 37 that's going to. And you know how much that 37 is. She's got horses more than that.
Just take a picture of my shelves.
And some don't even come painted.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what she does. So she's actually going to be part of the doing the scenery, because she wants a section where she can put her horses, even though they're completely different scale. She can put them on, have perspective, and use my layout to take photos. Sorry. Still cheaper than real horses. Oh, if she could, she would have a real horse.
These ones are nicer.
All right, she's giving me some other examples. Are these the hand-painted ones?
Yeah.
So that sort of thing. All hand-painted. Now, if I drop one of these, she'll be really annoyed.
Watch me.
So that's her hobby, getting those, collecting them. I'm not going to even ask her how much those are.
Probably best.
Yeah, so remember I done the video on the spray booth I built? That's one of the reasons it had to be so big, because she's got horses in a bigger scale again than those that she uses for spraying. She has painted some of them timber. She's at the early stages of learning and how to do them. I suppose it's the equivalent of our weathering. So she, like, the first airbrush that was in the house was hers, so I was using that, and then she bought me some better airbrushes so she could use them, and we're always nicking each other's paint and airbrushes and stuff like that. So at this stage now, it's all jumbled together in one box, and we don't know whose is whose anymore. Okay, Union, catch you next week, or out there on the stream somewhere. Yeah, don't worry, Timber. She's going to be on the case. That's my eldest daughter, and my youngest daughter is the one. Anybody who was at Worley, you would have met her. She's the one putting the Metcalf kits together, so she's going to be up here doing some scenery and building kits and stuff. She has various scales. I think she has 164. I know some of them are 132. She's shouting up now. 1 to 9 is the biggest. So, George, how are you? It's good to see you here. Hope you're keeping well. Was she at Bangor with me? Well, which one of my daughters was at Bangor? Nicola, were you at Bangor with me last year?
No, I've never been to a trade show.
That was Rachel, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, that.
Don't invite me, so I'm not a good enough camera person.
She's just saying I'm not inviting her because she's no good with the camera. No, that would have been Rachel. That was at. That's the youngest one. That's the one who was building the Metcalf kits.
I built Metcalf stable.
Oh yeah, she built some Metcalf stables, and she's also bought me some of the knock horses and that, so I could have horses on my layout in the right scale. Yeah, that's what happens, Dino. Hi, Resem. How you doing? Yeah, it was Rachel at the show last year. You see, I've 4 daughters, so trying to keep track of them. Mostly it's Rachel and Anna who comes with me. Anna came to Worley with me in 2019. Rachel came to Worley with me there last year, and it was Rachel who was with me at the show in Bangor last year. Orrington Model Railway, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Right, I think I'm going to sign off now because I can't feel my feet anymore. It's getting a bit cold up here in the loft. But I just thought I'd give you guys a little view of the loft. I'll probably be back up here next week, and you'll see a bit more of the progress. Hopefully the color beams will be cut away, and I'll have the lighting up, so it'll be a bit better illuminated. But there won't be a big change of this for a couple of weeks yet till the tank gets moved. Yeah, so don't forget to hit the like button on the way out, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Be back again next Thursday, back in the loft, hopefully. So you'll be able to slowly see the progress of this over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to put a little update video out tomorrow if I get that edited tonight. So anybody who is subscribed to Bernie can go over to his live stream now. I might see you guys over there in a bit. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and take care, everybody, and I'll see you all next week, hopefully. Bye, everyone.